Welcome to The Pulse. I'm Bill Anderson, and this is our new show. We're going to be here every Monday. They built us this cool new studio. I'm excited about this. This show is going to be about talking to people, hearing about their experiences, giving you the chance to interact with them as well. Some of you may know that radio is my background, so I've always wanted to do this, be able to have these types of discussions, and I look forward to doing that with you every single week. The other interesting thing for me is, and some of you may know, that this show actually is launching on the anniversary of the passing of my father, who passed a year ago due to COVID. So when we decided that we were going to launch a show, I only wanted one person to be our first guest. Not only is she extremely talented and someone I wanted to talk to and someone I believe you would want to hear from, but she also was one of my father's dear friends. And so I couldn't think of doing this without Iyanla Vanzant, who joins us now. Iyanla, how are you?
I'm blessed. I'm so glad to be with you. And I can't believe it's been a year. I
Yeah.
can't believe I don't know. Well, your father introduced me to media. I was a criminal defense attorney, and he put me on the radio and trained me, taught me, most of all, believed in me and supported me. Those were the two things. Your dad always believed in who I was, what I was doing, and always in any way he could supported me. So I am honored to be with you. I know this may sound cliche, but he would be so proud of you today.
One of the things that was important to him was using your voice for good. That was
Yes.
one of the things that he talked about. And we're in an era in media where the controversy, the negativity, the challenging seems to be the thing that will skyrocket your career. That was never you, and you haven't gone down that path. How do you stay off of that?
Well, I've always lived intentionally. So even when I did radio with your dad, I remember his theme song, "Wake Up Everybody, No More Sleeping in Bed." Teddy Pendergrass. But I've always been intentional. See, I'm not a media personality. I have no interest in doing media. What I always wanted to do was reach the largest number of people with the least amount of effort to bring a message of healing and strength and empowerment. So if it's not about healing, strength, and empowerment, and if I don't have an intention for a message or a skill or a tool that I want to share, I don't need to be in front of a camera or in front of a microphone. And I think one of the biggest drugs, I think the first most addictive drug for the human being is control.
Yeah.
And the second most addictive drug is fame. Everybody wants to be famous. It's a drug, literally, and people will do anything. And in this age of social media and TikTok and Tick and every all of these other people can get on and become famous at the lowest common denominator.
I have been blessed to interact with some pretty important and influential people, you being one of them. And I remember all of the stories that people share with me and the advice. I don't know if you remember, but this was years ago, and you came on the radio show with me. And I was like, Iyanla, I want a show. I want to do TV. I want to grow. Um, and you said to me, don't just want to do TV, want to do something that you believe in, something that is your message and not your face on somebody else's message.
Yeah.
And you've been through that as well, where you had to kind of follow your path, not somebody else's.
Yeah. When I did my first TV show, well, I'll leave them alone. I won't call them out. Throwing shade.
Right.
uh, they wanted me because of who I was in the world and not because of the message that I brought. So that didn't last very long. That did not last long at all.
Right.
And then when I went back to television to do Starting Over, that was just the sweet spot for me, working with women, doing their healing. And I think everywhere in life right now, Bill, I think that And the pandemic in a funny way kind of helped us to get clear about really who we are and what we're doing. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Because when we got shut down and couldn't do anything, were things we had to look at. Okay, now what am I doing here? And what do I want to do? And what matters to me? So from that perspective, I think, people learned a lot during the pandemic. I mean, people who have left their jobs, people who are starting businesses, people want to spend more time with family. Then you have the reverse, where people got divorced.
Yeah. You were doing this work, the
Yeah.
life coaching, the helping people through their discussions before this was a thing. Like
Oh, yeah.
now it kind of feels like it's a thing. People are moving into that space.
I've always been guided, spiritually guided. And when I was told to stop, walk away from my law practice, I did. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And I met your dad, and he put me on the radio. And I started really understanding what my gift was and what my passion was. And it was really to alleviate suffering. People suffer, particularly people of color. We suffer under things that are beneath the truth of who we are. Poverty is beneath the truth of who we are. Violence is beneath the truth of who we are. Self deprecation is beneath the truth of who we are. And looking at my own life, there were so many lessons that I learned through my own suffering
Yeah.
that nobody was talking about.